ItthiJit Podcast Ep05. Today, we use sound frequencies to empower the mind and accelerate your success into reality. I'm Ray YARATA. Let's dive in.
Oh yeah. Okay, I have to stop there. I have been listening to this on a loop for the last hour getting ready for this, and I genuinely don't know if I'm about to meditate or if I'm supposed to be, like, welding something in a futuristic factory. Oh, me.
It definitely doesn't sound like your standard, waterfall in a forest meditation track, does it?
Not even close. It's jarring. It's industrial. And it's so rhythmic, almost aggressive. When I opened the files for this week's deep dive, I actually double-checked to make sure I hadn't accidentally downloaded some techno track from 1999.
Right.
But no, this is the source material. This is what we're analyzing.
It is. And honestly, your reaction, that feeling of confusion, that this is too much, that's actually the mechanism at work. If it sounded like a gentle breeze, it wouldn't be doing its job.
So the annoyance is a feature, not a bug.
In a way, yes. But let's back up a little. We aren't just reviewing some avant-garde album here. We're unpacking Ep05 from a creator named Ray YARATA. And the system we're looking at is called ItthiJit.
ItthiJit, which translates to what exactly?
Loosely, it's mind power. But before you roll your eyes and think this is just another vague, think positive seminar, you need to see how the source presents it. It's not presented as magic at all. It's presented almost like electrical engineering.
I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about generators and transmission.
Right. So Ray YARATA frames this whole thing as a formula, almost like physics. The mission for this deep dive is to figure out how these really specific and aggressive sound frequencies are supposed to accelerate success. And accelerate is the key word.
Okay, so let's look at this formula, because usually when we talk about manifesting or success mindset, it's all very soft. Visualize your dreams, believe to achieve. This feels much more rigid.
It is rigid. It outlines an actual equation. ItthiJit equals a trained mind plus strong will plus energy transmission tools.
Okay, let's break that down.
So think of it as three distinct variables. The trained mind gives you stillness. The strong will provides clarity. And the tools, those weird sounds you were just mimicking, they provide the speed.
Stillness, clarity, speed. I get the first two. I mean, we hear about stillness and clarity all the time in this space, but speed, that's the outlier.
That's the ItthiJit promise. The source claims that you can have a still mind, a really clear goal, but without that transmission mechanism, without the speed, it takes forever for that internal thought to become an external reality.
So the sounds are what, the fiber optic cable?
That's a really good analogy. Or maybe like a turbocharger on an engine. But here's the catch, and this is where I think most people would check out. The source has a prerequisite, a one belief that you have to accept before you even press play.
Which is?
You yourself can train your mind to generate power.
See, that sounds like the standard waiver. If this doesn't work, it's because you didn't believe hard enough.
I thought so too at first. But look at the phrasing again. It doesn't say, believe in the magic. It says, believe that you are the generator. The system is passive. The audio tracks are just passive tools. Like a hammer. If you stare at a hammer, it's not going to build a house. You have to be the one to pick it up and swing it.
So the audio tracks, the heat chant, they aren't doing the work for you.
Yeah.
They're just the object you're swinging.
Exactly. If you just listen to these tracks passively, expecting them to fix you, the source implies you'll get nothing but a headache. You have to provide the juice.
All right, so let's assume I'm the generator. I've plugged myself in. Now I have to deal with the two understandings. The first one was the system managing energy. We sort of covered that. But the second one is understanding the tools.
And this is the diagnostic part. This is where I think this system is actually quite sophisticated. Most meditation apps, they offer you a buffet, right? Pick what you feel like today.
Right.
This system says, no, you need to diagnose your current state. And there's only one correct tool for that state.
It's a prescription, not a menu.
Correct. So the source divides the tools into two main categories, Tool A is called Human Pulsecore.
Which is the heat track, that one.
Yes, that's the impact tool. The source describes its function as crashing the mind.
Crashing implies failure, though. You know, my computer crashes, I lose all my work. Why on earth would I want to crash my mind?
Think less blue screen of death and more a battering ram. Or a controlled demolition. Use Human Pulsecore when your internal state is hot, when you're chaotic, distracted, angry, or holding on to some repressed emotion.
Okay, I am familiar with that state, the 3 a.m. brain loop where you're winning an argument in your head that happened 3 years ago.
That's the one. Now, if you try to layer a soft, gentle ocean breeze track over that 3 a.m. rage, what happens?
I just get annoyed at the ocean. It feels fake. It feels like the track is mocking me almost.
Because there's a total mismatch in energy. You can't soothe the fire with a whisper, you have to match the intensity. The heat track, with its heavy rhythm and that aggressive humming, is designed to meet that chaotic energy right where it is. It validates the noise.
So it fights fire with fire.
And then it extinguishes it. The source says this tool is meant to literally shatter the shell that's covering the heart. It wakes up the power, burns off all that excess adrenaline, and then this is the key part. Within the same track, it slingshots you into a phase of deep relaxation.
So it exhausts the demons, basically.
It creates a crash in the nervous system, a hard reset. After that period of high intensity, the silence that follows feels so much deeper because you feel like you've earned it.
Okay, I can see the logic in that. It's like doing a sprint to clear your head instead of just sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
But you can't always be sprinting. What about the other side of that?
That would be tool B, mantra frequencies. And you only use this when the mind is already relatively cool. When you need soothing, comfort, maybe just to recharge.
This is the support tool.
Yes, and the mechanism here is fascinating. The source actually refers to it as a sound kasina.
I've heard the word kasina before, I think in Buddhist contexts. Usually it involves staring at like a colored disc or a candle flame.
It's a concentration object, something to anchor the mind. And here, the anchor is the sound itself. But it's the technique for listening that really caught my attention. The source calls it panoramic listening.
Panoramic usually refers to vision, you know, seeing the whole horizon. How do you listen panoramically?
Well, have you ever learned to drive or maybe played a team sport where the coach tells you to use soft eyes? You aren't staring at one specific car or one player. You're taking in the whole field of view at once.
Yeah, your peripheral vision. It feels way more relaxing than focused staring.
This is the exact same thing, but for your hearing, peripheral hearing. You aren't listening to the melody, you aren't picking apart the frequencies, you're just letting the wall of sound wash over you without latching onto any specific part of it.
And what's the biological point of doing that?
It's all about shifting brain waves. The source claims this technique tunes the brain into alpha or theta states. And these are the states of neutrality. The mind becomes empty, but still alert.
So Pulsecore breaks the chaos, and then mantra frequencies come in and fill the void.
It's a cycle, exactly. You clean the house, then you furnish it. If you try to furnish a house that's full of trash, using mantras when you're angry, it just doesn't work. And if you keep scrubbing a clean house using Pulsecore when you're already tired, you'll just damage the floor.
That distinction diagnosis before treatment is actually really practical, but here's the part of this deep dive that I found the most surprising. We've been talking about all these produced tracks, but the source material says you don't actually need them.
The DIY protocol.
Yeah. I mean, Ray YARATA is selling these tracks, but then he explicitly says the best instrument you have is your own body, specifically humming.
This is where we move from just listening to something to actively engineering something.
But come on. Humming? It sounds so small. I hum when I don't know the words to a song. How is that supposed to be a power tool?
Well, it's all about how you do it. The source breaks this down into a 4-step core practice. I tried this, by the way. It's harder than it sounds.
Walk us through it.
Okay, so step 1 is vibration awareness. You start humming, but you're not listening to the note at all. You have to completely ignore the sound your ears are picking up.
Okay.
Instead, you have to hunt for the physical vibration in your body.
Hunt for it.
Yeah. Can you feel it buzzing in your teeth? In your sternum? Maybe in the back of your skull?
Okay.
Where is it?
It's a weird feeling. As soon as you look for the feeling, the sound itself kind of disappears for you. You become really internal.
That's the point. It snaps you out of your thoughts and into your own biology instantly, which then leads to step 2, the shift, which the source calls mental bowing.
This sounds like the visualization part.
It is. You take that physical buzz you found in your chest or your head, and you visualize it as light energy. You imagine that vibration is actually light expanding from your center.
Is this just a mental trick? Or is there something actually happening?
Well, the force claims that science supports this. And if we look at what we know about, say, the vagus nerve, slow, deep humming, does stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. It physically calms your heart rate. So the light visualization is just a way to hack your brain into associating that physical relaxation with a positive force.
Okay, so I'm buzzing, I'm visualizing light. What's step 3?
Set intention. And this is where most people mess up. The source is very strict about this. 1, single. Intention.
Why just 1? Why can't I manifest a new car and a promotion?
Think about a laser versus a light bulb. A light bulb sends energy everywhere, so it lights up a room, but the energy is weak. A laser focuses all of that energy into one single point, and it can cut through steel. The source says clarity provides power. If your intention is, I want to be happy and rich and maybe lose 5 pounds, the signal's just muddy.
So pick one word. Wealth, peace, courage, something like that.
Exactly. You hold that single word in your mind while the vibration is peaking. And then step 4, release. You let the sound carry the intention out. You stop holding it.
You broadcast it.
You broadcast it.
Yeah.
And you just assume the signal has been sent.
It reminds me of sending an email. You type the message, you hit send, and you trust it went through the wires. You don't sit there holding onto the cable worrying about it.
That's a great way to put it. And the source really emphasizes that this isn't just spiritual. It's supposed to be mechanical. You are using the biological instrument, your voice box, your nervous system, to align your internal state with an external goal.
So putting this all into a daily routine, the source suggests a kind of loop, right?
It does. But it's not a rigid schedule. It's not like Monday is Pulsecore day. You check in with yourself. Am I hot? Am I chaotic inside? Use Pulsecore. Clean the system. Am I feeling empty? Am I feeling flat? Use mantra. Refuel.
It's emotional maintenance.
It's hygiene. You brush your teeth every day to prevent decay. You use these tools to prevent, mental decay.
And if listeners want to hear the full tracks, the heat track or the mantras Ray YARATA has them available.
Yes. The source directs you to his Ko-Fi page.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's Ko-Fi.
Correct. You can just search Ray YARATA, that's R-A-Y space Y-A-R-A-T-A, then Ko-Fi. The tracks are there to download for personal or even commercial use.
It's worth checking out just to hear the production on that heat track. It really is unlike anything else I've heard in the wellness space.
It is definitely an experience.
Before we wrap this all up, I want to circle back to something we touched on with the humming. And this has been nagging at me the whole time we've been recording.
Go on.
So, we're talking about ItthiJit mind power. We're saying that the voice creates a vibration, and that vibration transmits an intention to the universe, right?
It is the core premise, yes.
And we're supposed to use it to transmit peace or wealth, but the mechanism itself doesn't have a moral compass, does it? It's just physics.
No, physics doesn't care what you want. It just reacts to the input.
So if I walk around all day complaining, I'm so tired, I'm so broke, my boss is a nightmare, I never get a break, am I not technically using the ItthiJit system?
You are.
I mean, I'm generating a vibration with my voice, I'm focusing on it, usually quite intensely because I'm annoyed, and I'm broadcasting it out to everyone who will listen.
You are, in effect, running a high-power manifestation loop for everything you don't want.
That is terrifying.
It really is. I mean, if you accept the premise that stillness plus clarity plus speed equals reality, then complaining is essentially chaos plus clarity of the problem plus speed. You are accelerating the reality of your own misery.
We're accidentally manifesting crashes.
We are. We are constantly broadcasting signals. Most of us are just broadcasting static, or worse, we're broadcasting these distress calls, and then we wonder why we keep finding ourselves in distress.
Wow. That completely reframes the whole one belief thing. You are the generator. You don't get to choose if you're generating. You're always generating something. You only get to choose what you generate.
That's the heavy takeaway here. The silence is just as important as the noise. If you can't hum peace, at least stop humming disaster.
I think that's a perfect place to leave it. Whether you download the heat track or just start humming in your car, maybe pay attention to the signal you're sending out.
Absolutely. Check your frequencies.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one.
Take care.
ItthiJit begins with believing in your own potential. I have prepared uncompressed master files, WAV, for you at my Ko-fi store. Search on Google for Ray YARATA Ko-fi or click the link in the description. Download and start refining your mind today. I'm Ray YARATA. Goodbye.